Beach FM, locals talking to locals.
Nisbett, are you there?
I'm here, Ron.
Oh, goodness me. That helps me. Yeah, technically, sometimes I fall apart, mate, but, you know, it's just what it is. Oh, we're talking about the rugby before we went to air. There's some great rugby around over the weekend, I thought. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, look, it was the first round of the Mitre 10 Cup, and, of course, most of the All Blacks are involved, and so clearly that strengthened a lot of teams, but it also added a higher quality of play, didn't it? And unlike you, what I saw of it, I certainly enjoyed.
Yeah, Wellington weren't their flash, were they?
Wellington were pretty average, actually. They've got to learn to tackle. That's the first thing they've got to do. And, of course, they were penalised a lot, and Damien McKenzie was able to cash in. I think he kicked 6 penalties and scored a runaway try, got 33 points, which is a staggering amount of points. And, yeah, they were disappointing. I'd expect them to improve, but, gee whiz, they'll need to.
Yeah, well, you certainly look that way, and I just couldn't quite work it out. For one thing, they didn't tackle too well, as you told me off air, did they? They weren't up and into it. But the other side, which was a pretty good side, what we've got to look at in this competition is most of these teams are pretty slick.
Yeah, they are. And, you know, we saw an upset with Southland beating Hawke's Bay, so you're not safe against anybody, really. And I believe Wellington have got to go to Eden Park next week. Well, gee, Auckland are a very good team. I mean, they've got not only got full of Super Rugby players, they're actually full of All Blacks these days as well. So they need to lift. There's no question about that. The game I'm looking forward to next week is Taranaki challenging for the Ramphele Shield against Canterbury down in Christchurch. Canterbury were efficient, not brilliant, but efficient against North Harbour. Taranaki pretty much the same against Bay of Plenty. But, of course, you throw a couple of Barretts into the mix, and I would think that Canterbury might be just feeling a little bit nervous.
No, I think there will be too. I didn't realise that was on next weekend. That'll be a beauty. You got that one?
Yeah, it will be.
You got that one?
No. I'm doing a game in Palmy, Manawatu somebody or other.
Well, that's poor. Anyway, all right. No, that's okay. Yeah, Palmy, just up the way. Yeah, that'll be a good game. You'd still think the home side would win that, though, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would do. I think after the first week of the competition, 3 teams stood out to me. Tasman, who of course are the playing through champions, and they're absolutely chock-a-block full of Super Rugby and All Blacks. And Canterbury, of course, always there or thereabout. And Auckland. Hard to know whether Waikato are really contenders at this point because Wellington was so damn awful. Outside of those 3, and I know it's only week 1, outside of those 3, I'm not sure. So, you know, I still think Tasman should be the favourites to win this thing, but I tell you what, Auckland won't be far away.
No, you wouldn't think so with the side they've got at the moment. I'm just a little bit bemused in that. How long will the All Blacks stay in this competition?
Well, look, this depends very much on when they're acquired by Ian Foster and whether we're going to play any Bledisloe Cup test matches. I see Dave Brenny has poured some cold water on October 10. So the Rugby Union have got to work out when the All Blacks are going to play. And then, of course, we've got this business of the Rugby Championship being played in Australia, which means they're going to have to go to Australia for 2 weeks and isolate over there. So they're going to be away an awful long time. So, look, I think we'll enjoy them while they're around. I would think also that the All Blacks are going to have to take more players to Australia than they normally would because, of course, somebody gets injured and has to be replaced. You can hardly fly anybody over because they immediately fall days or even weeks behind in terms of isolation. They may not even be fit enough or ready enough to play. So they're going to have to think very seriously about how many players they actually take to Australia.
It seems that way, but this should never have happened, really, should it? I mean, we should have been teams should have been coming here to New Zealand to play the All Blacks.
Yeah, well, it's out of the hands of the Rugby Union. It suddenly becomes a government thing, Ron, and, you know, it's you can argue until you're blue in the face that it's not, but it is. There's no question about that. The Rugby Union apparently did all they could to get the sort of quarantine arrangements in place, but weren't able to do so. And it had a lot to do with the number of people who can mix. And really, when teams arrive in New Zealand, they need to be able to start training straight away. They can't sit around in hotel rooms or whatever for 2 weeks and then start preparing. They've got to be able to get out there and prepare. And somewhere along the line, I'm not sure of the absolute details, but somewhere along the line it didn't quite work out. And so that's the bottom line. And so we miss out on the Rugby Championship, which was the preferred option of SANZAAR. They said that right at the very start. And our old mates Australia, it's a bit reminiscent of the 2003 Rugby World Cup, and they flogged it from under our nose. So we're just going to have to cop this one and try and get over there and win the damn thing. I'm not even sure that South Africa and Argentina are going to be there because they've been playing no rugby at all. So the Rugby Championship might even just be extended Bledisloe Cup matches.
Yeah, you just wouldn't know, would you, at this stage? You just wouldn't know. Okay, I'll just finish up with the Warriors. They've had a pretty good season, and they got knocked over at the weekend, which means they won't make the finals, but I think they played pretty well over there.
Yeah, all things considered, I think they've got to be very proud of themselves, actually, and they're always on the rough end of the pineapple when the referees are concerned. I can't believe how things go against them. Maybe I'm looking at it through, rose-coloured glasses, I don't know, but they cop all the worst decisions, and they just have to, and this happens season after season. I'm not talking about this year, I'm talking about generally. And then you get an apology on Monday, we cocked that up, but, that doesn't get you the game back, does it? And that happened last week. But having said all that, given that they've been away for 3 months, given that some of their top players have come home and all the rest of it, given they've had to use a few blokes from other clubs, and given they're playing, they also sacked their coach, they've been playing with an interim coach who's decided to go elsewhere next year. It's given all of that, they've done damn well. And as I say, I think they should be proud of themselves.
I think you did right, mate. As always, great to talk to you. I'll catch up with you later in the week, eh?
Good on you, Ron. Cheers.
All right, matey, bye. That is, of course, Grant Nisbett.
106.3 Beach FM.